Earlier in a video I was talking about the in this house we believe da da da, and how someone that I love has that sign, and it's so annoying just because it's your virtue signaling. But anyway, I was on the science is real. I'm not questioning science, okay? Except for I'm not going to actively promote science whenever in my lifetime science has been changed a few times. Things have changed, things that we were taught were fact and this is what it is, to, well, actually this isn't what it was, and this isn't, how it is, and whatever. So examples, not sure if you know this or not, but like museums, they don't have actual fossils of dinosaurs. They're all replicas. So what we're looking at, it's something that someone made. It's a replica. None of the museums have actual fossils in them. Fossils were something that came out, and no one started finding fossils until after the 1900s, like 1910, I believe. And what else? So dinosaurs, it's like what we thought we knew about dinosaurs. They were scaly, and there was a brontosaurus. What, I like the brontosaurus. I was a really big fan of that, but no, that doesn't exist. Now it's the oh, I forget the name of it. The Argentinosaurus and the Papiliosaurus and other things. I like the Dinosaur Museum. It's fun. It's very entertaining. But to like think, okay, all these things that it was said to be, it isn't true. Dinosaurs were scaly. Turns out they have feathers. And now they're thinking that maybe the T-Rex wasn't as scary as once thought, and it wasn't as fierce, whatever. So not just that, but like, what else? There used to be, it was climate change was a big deal, and then it was global warming, and now it's back to climate change. So I know that that's like the big stickler point for libertarians, is that Republicans deny climate change, but there is an extreme climate that seems to be happening, but then again, who knows what it was from before? I mean, I know that there's an almanac, which goes back to 100 years or whatever, but clearly, like, things change. New Mexico supposedly was underwater way back when, so now we're a desert, so that things happen. But I'm not saying doesn't exist and there aren't things, but there's that, and like Jupiter, it was a planet, now it's a dwarf planet, because there are actual other things that would be more considered as a planet, and they think it's maybe even like a moon or something, or of something else. Not a moon, but like a smaller, just like a debris. It's not even like what it was once said to be. And what else? Like, there's just like so many things that we were taught is, oh, if you're a libertarian, how about this? I mean, not libertarian. No, a liberal. Sorry, liberal. I'm like, why can't I think of the name? If you're a liberal, we were taught as kids that, there were only two genders. There's male and there's female. Well, then there's like hermaphrodite, but you're either male or you're a female. And now, apparently that's not really a thing. And now men have periods too. And, we sensationalize being a transgender. And, honestly, like, you do you. If you want to be girl, boy, dragon, fairy, honestly, I don't care. I'm not you. I'm not trying to tell you how you need to live your life. You do you, okay? I could care freaking less. I will love you just the same. But, yeah, like, just all these things have changed. So, like, to say that science is real, okay. And I used to think that the news is real, too. But I've seen how that's manipulated. I know you could say, oh, you Trump supporters, but I learned how fake the news can be, and how they push certain narratives, and how they ignored certain stories as a Bernie Sanders supporter, because I saw how they didn't talk about things, and there'd be like 30,000 something plus people marching, especially like with the DNC, completely ignored. And it's like they're picking and choosing their stories, and we're supposed to just believe everything that they want to tell us. No, they have a freaking narrative that they're pushing. whatever, you know, like say what you want. And love is love. Okay, love is love. So what? Like no one's not saying love is donkeys. No, love is love. I don't know how that could even be argued. So that's just and kindness is everything. I disagree. And this is coming from someone who, if you meet me, like, I'm gonna be super nice to you. Like, I'm gonna treat you as I would want to be treated because I think that that's a good way to go. I don't have a reason to be disrespectful to people that I don't know, and you know, like I like being nice to people. I like talking to people. I like smiling at people. It's just that's who I am. But on that same note, like, I guess if I had to say something, I'd be like, honesty is everything. So kindness is something, but it's not everything. There's just way more to life than being everything, you know? So I think that by saying kindness is everything when for a fact it's not, it's a fact that kindness is not everything. It's an aspect of something, but it's not everything. So it's just like it's this whole idea of virtue signaling. And just to go back to the beginning of it, it's like, I'll recap just in case I don't end up putting that first video up. It's like, oh, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I was a part of that too. I was like, yeah, of course they do. You know, people, horrific things shouldn't happen to people just because they're a race. Like and that is horrible, you know. But that's regardless of the race that you are. You shouldn't be treated differently because of your race. Like, I feel like people come after white men a lot, and now they're starting to come after blonde white women and conservatives, and it's like, are we treating people equally or not, you know? In order for us to treat people equally, then let's just not say that it's just Black Lives Matter. Yes, they matter. They do. Black lives do matter, and so do Filipino lives, and so do, you know, mixed race lives, and so do transgender lives, you know, whatever. Like, people matter, okay? So instead of saying Black Lives Matter, how about people matter? And even then, it's like, duh, of course people should matter, you know? Women's rights are human rights. Okay, well, luckily we don't live in Saudi Arabia, and even then, like, I don't even know, whatever, and like, and women are not, for the most part, to the best of my ability, for the most part, women are not being chained up, and men do not have women out there where they have them by a dog collar and they have a whip and then they're telling them what to do and they're treating them like dogs. No, women are not slaves for the most part, okay? So to say that women's rights are human rights, yes, women are for the most part treated like humans, not dogs, okay? Like, people might, and I can't even say, like, honestly, like, I don't think that women are not treated humanely. I think women have more of a status at the moment because of the whole victim card and like who has the biggest victim and who's gone through the most to like have a say. I might make a video about this later, but I blame it all on Oprah. Socialism, Oprah. Victims, Oprah. Because her and her, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Back in the day, in order for you to be able to be one of the people to get that car and to get that, like, a ticket to that show, you had to have, like, a crazy story, and you had to do a bunch of stuff for people, and you had to be, like, someone who was selfless, you know, and has had to endure something, and some kind of a hero. So, and even then, like, just to be on the show for the most part, at one point, before it got all celeb-induced, you had to be, like, the biggest victim with the most tragic story to get your voice heard, for you to get the recognition that you deserved. And so I think that that mentality is what prompted the socialist and social justice warriors, and I get to speak because I have the biggest victim card. My voice matters more because I have this. And when I first thought about it, I was like, that's so silly, but it's kind of true, you know. It's like, and I loved Oprah back in the day, and I still probably, if I saw her, I'd be like, Oprah, how you doing? How you doing? That's windy. But and then to like say people are racist, but like who watched Oprah back in the day? White middle class women, everyone did, right? Like everyone watched Oprah, and she was the #1 show back in the day. And if you want to say people are racist, then they probably wouldn't have embraced her, you know, and she probably wouldn't have had the biggest show on TV. No, people were not freaking racist back then, you know, like at least during my time. That's not how we were taught. That's not how we were raised, and that's not what we did. So I reject that whole freaking notion. And no human is illegal. Okay, yeah, sure, but people can come here illegally, and by that definition is when you make your way here without permission, even though you know you're supposed to do it a certain way, and you come your own way. That's breaking the law. And so you're illegally gaining entrance into the country. So, I mean, it's just that stupid sign. It just really kind of irks me because it's like, okay, virtue signaler, you're trying to basically say that you're better than another person because you believe things, you know, that everyone should believe or whatever. And if someone doesn't, then they should have to know this right now. And it's like, but if someone goes and puts a huge Christian flag or a Trump sign out, are you going to do something snotty to them because, you know, women's rights are human's rights and kindness is everything and no human is illegal, but you're going to treat someone who, you know, has different values than you that way? So it's like, I feel like they're just kind of being the biggest hypocrites. And if you want to call people ignorant because they have different views than you or whatever, and just kind of like shame them because their values aren't the same as yours or they have different priorities than you do, then maybe you should like look into that yourself. But when I see that, I'm like, okay, cool. So I kind of want to be their neighbor who puts the Trump sign up. It's like, cool. Like, well, in this house, we believe in religion and we believe that people have the right to bear arms and we believe that we should be able to support our president. And we can have a conversation where we still treat each other kindly or, you know, whatever. But like, you're setting a mark for yourself when you put that out there. And you're saying basically like, you have to think like this. And if you don't, then we might have an issue. I might think differently if you don't have this sign in your front yard too, or if you don't have share these same beliefs. And it just contradicts everything that I knew when I was growing up because I was always taught, no, my granny, she'd say, nobody's better than anybody. We're all treated the same. You know, you're not better than anybody else, and treat others the way you want to be treated, and put yourself in their shoes. And I really do try to, like, I try to put myself in other people's situations and, like, try to understand why they are where they are. But this, I mean, it's just frustrating. It's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, you're so, like, woke and you're, like, so wonderful and better than everybody else because you have to put the sign up to let everybody know where you stand. But, you know, if someone puts something else that says something other than what you think, I can almost guarantee that those would be the people who would do something snotty or say something and talk behind someone's back. And it's like, yeah, as women's rights or human's rights, so are conservatives' rights, so are whatever. And, you know, if you want to have a sign in your yard, no problem, but just understand that other people have different views as well. And if you're going to embrace, you know, Black Lives Matters and women's rights and science and fake news and say kindness is all it is, then you should preach what you project and understand that, like, it's not just those things that matter, other things matter too. And if you're going to treat people and say that kindness is whatever, then it should be stated and it shouldn't fit in a sign. Like, if you really feel that way and you're so wonderful and whatever and you love everyone, then you don't have to put a sign putting kind of a narrow view on reality. Instead of saying, yes, science is real, why don't I talk to someone who thinks that science isn't real and ask them why they don't think that, you know? Why don't I talk to someone, whatever, and have a conversation instead of saying, these are my beliefs, this is how I feel. It's like, you're being kind of narrow-minded in my opinion. But anyway, thanks for listening to me rant. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Friday, beers and politics. If you're interested in a live stream, let me know. Something you want to talk about, let me know. I hope to hear from you guys soon. Please tell me you're watching these videos. All right, have a great night. Thanks.